So much for joining another session of Edugo AI webinars. I will kindly ask you to keep your audio muted, so your microphone muted. So in case you want to ask some questions, then we're going to have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. But for now, I will kindly ask you to keep your microphone muted. So my name is Giuseppe Tomasello. So welcome to all of you to a new session of Edugo AI webinars. And together with me today, we have Rebecca Chu, which is my co-host. And in the meantime that we are waiting all the people to join the webinar, I would like to ask you, where are you from? So if you can drop a message in the chat, it would be very nice to understand where all of you are from. And so we can understand how international we are today. I'm Italian originally, and actually I've been living in quite different places around the world. I recently just ended my adventure in China. It was 7 years in Shanghai, and now I recently moved to Dubai. So right now I'm speaking from Dubai. And yeah, so Rebecca, maybe you can give us a quick intro. Where are you from? Where are you right
I'm from Taiwan, Taipei, and right now I'm based in Vienna. I'm learning German here, and I used to live in the US. I did my master's in the Netherlands, so international. Just to continue the introduction, I'm the head of learning technology at Edugo and my main goal is to make lesson creation very easy on the platform and to help teachers create the language course that they envision. So a quick few sentences about myself. Yeah.
I can see some people, if you guys can keep the microphone muted for now, so we can have a very smooth session. And at the end of the presentation, then we're going to have a Q&A. So if you want to ask any questions, you can interact directly with us. And in order to start, I would like to, before giving a quick introduction about myself, I'm Italian now in Dubai, but I am also the founder of Edugo AI. And I started Edugo AI to solve my own need, which was actually from the need to learn Chinese. That was actually the real beginning of the story. And so I was in China, I was studying Chinese, and being a software developer, I started to build a tool that can help myself to learn Chinese. And then these tools start to be adopted by my university. And that was really the origin story on how this company was started. And fast forward 5 years, because that was 5 years ago, and now the company is a SaaS platform. So it's a software as a service platform that is used by language institutions, by universities, but also by individual trainers in order to move their business online. And we focus a lot on the pedagogical elements. So as you will see today, we're going to talk a lot about pedagogy, especially language teaching pedagogy. And we're going to show you how different tools that you can use in order to create very powerful learning experiences and that are powered by artificial intelligence. So we're going to go through different kind of points. So Rebecca will start by introducing different kind of pedagogical approaches. Then I will show and share to you some of the most innovative pedagogical approaches that are now available thanks to artificial intelligence and technology. And then we're going to show you how you can structure an online language course using our platform. So I will ask Rebecca actually if she wants to start with her part of the presentation. Yeah. I will start sharing my screen, and so we start from the beginning. So
thank you. Yes, thank you. Can you just move to the next page? Yes, thank you. As Giuseppe mentioned, we have a very interesting topic today, and it's very relevant to language teaching and course creation, and that is the pedagogical approaches. And as you can see this graph here, I'll take you on a little journey into the past and show you the history of language teaching pedagogies, but don't worry, this is not a history lesson, so I'll keep it short. So we start from the 19th century. This is the time where teachers started to explore teaching foreign languages in a systematic way. And they were inspired by how people in the 16th century learned Latin. And because the Latin language, as you know, is slowly died out, so they were only studying it as an academic subject. So they were focusing a lot on grammar rules and reading and writing and translation. But and as you can imagine, this has a lot of major drawbacks. For example, it totally overlooks speaking and listening, and it also barely uses the target language. So as a response to this, the direct method was developed, which uses only the target language in teaching, and it focuses a lot on oral skills. But on the other hand, this method did not pay enough attention to grammar rules. So then the audiolingual method came out to solve this challenge. And this is a similar method to the direct method, and it also focuses on oral skills, but it uses sentence patterns and a lot of drilling exercises to teach grammar and sentence structures. And then around the 1950s, things started to change. And before this time, people actually thought, oh, language learning is just a cognitive process, and it involves a lot of memorization, and it's supposed to be very boring. But then around this time, researchers actually started to add social elements into the equation, and they realized that language can be learned through interaction. So as you can see, a lot of those different approaches developed after the 1950s. They all revolve around interactions and collaborations and communicating with your peers. For example, the silent way is an approach where the students are encouraged to speak as much as possible while the teachers remain silent. That's why we call it the silent way. And also the communicative language teaching approach is very popular these days, and especially relevant in recent years. And I'll talk more about that later. But as you can see, the pedagogical approaches are ever changing, and they are usually born as a solution to improve previous approaches. And then now let's delve more into the popular language teaching approaches. Thank you. I can go to the next slide. Right, so we have the grammar translation method. As I briefly mentioned, it's an approach where students are required to learn the grammar rules and memorize vocabulary to read and translate the text in the target language. And this method has some serious drawbacks, but it's still very, very popular in the traditional classroom setting. And from my own personal experience, I come from Taiwan, and I remember every English teacher I've ever had in Taiwan, like growing up, were using this method. And I'm sure most of them are still using this until this day. And the reason why this is so popular is that it's one of the easiest approaches teachers can use, because they don't have to be fluent speakers of the language. They need to know the grammar rules and have a textbook. And then that's about it. So there's very little preparation before class. And this is also very efficient because the classes are conducted in the students' mother tongue, and they can understand what the teachers are saying, no problem. It's very easy for them. However, because this approach does not focus on listening and speaking skills, students might not develop strong conversation ability. And since they're used to translations so much, they might have trouble thinking directly in a target language, and they might produce non-native like speech that might be hard to understand. And then because of these criticisms of translation method, a new method was born, which is called the direct method. And it is the total opposite of the translation method because it heavily focuses on listening and speaking while only using the target language. And this method is still very popular in recent years. For example, I think probably some of you know the learning software Rosetta Stone. It is very famous for adopting this method as well. And an advantage of the direct method is that it's very practical because students can learn the language and apply it and then use it instead of just memorizing the grammar rules. And so the result is that the students can improve their fluency, their pronunciations, and their expressions are properly developed, and they are able to use the language to communicate, which is the main goal of language learning, right? However, because it involves a lot of those oral exercises between teachers and students, this is not very easy to do with a large class. And also this method does not pay enough attention to reading and writing. So the students might develop issues on these aspects as well. And then we have the communicative language teaching method, which has been very popular in recent years. It's been all the rage. And the center of this approach is interaction, and it is the goal and the method of teaching. And the ultimate objective of this approach is to prepare students to communicate in the target language. So as you can imagine, the students have to interact with each other. They might do like role plays, interviews, or recall a plot of a movie or something like that. So these are all real world situations that you need the language for. So these activities are very student-centered and they're very engaging, and the students can enjoy practicing the language in a safe environment where mistakes can be made. But that also means the teachers focus more on fluency and less on accuracy. So error reduction might be overlooked. So the students might develop some kind of fossilization of the errors, which means that they develop habits of mistakes that they cannot quite shake off. And the other disadvantage is that this might not be the most suitable method for beginners, because in order to do all those tasks and really when you do those communications with your peers, you really need to have like a basic understanding or the command of language. So they might need some prerequisite knowledge first. And we just mentioned the communicative language teaching. It sees the meaningful communication as the goal. And this is very similar. The task-based teaching takes it a bit further. So it not only focuses on communications, it also emphasizes on using the authentic language to complete meaningful tasks. So for example, visiting a doctor, conducting a job interview, or calling customer service for help, or buying movie tickets, things like that. These tasks are very practical, and you can encounter them in daily life. So the students feel very engaged and motivated while doing them. And they also usually do these tasks with their classmates. So this method actually promotes a lot of meaningful communication and conversations with their peers. But that being said, this approach may not be the appropriate method for the very first lesson or for a foundation class, because as we saw in the last page, it also requires a certain knowledge or level of understanding of the language to complete those tasks. And it is also quite difficult from a teacher's perspective because it takes time and they have to find different teaching resources other than traditional textbooks. Now, these language teaching approaches that I just talked about, they have been around for quite some time. I think the latest ones are task-based learning and also the communicative language teaching. These are developed in the 80s. But as you can imagine, they were developed before e-learning and online learning became popular. And because this is an ever-changing field, and we have seen a lot of new research and technological advances that can lead to different pedagogies. So the important question is, what kind of new techniques and new approaches do we have for online language teaching, and what can we look forward to? So to answer this question, I'll give the floor to Giuseppe. You're muted. Can you unmute yourself? Yes.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for the historical overview about the pedagogical approaches. I think there is a lot of things we can learn from the past, and I believe that now we are going to face an incredible period of transformation and an acceleration of experimentation when it comes to pedagogical approaches. Because once you bring those pedagogical approaches from a traditional setting to a digital setting, actually you start to have a lot of new, first of all, you can do a lot of new experiments much quicker, because like you can deliver this kind of like experiment at scale to a large number of people, a large number of students. And also you start to have a lot of new tools in your toolkit that you can use that before, when you have like a traditional like textbook or a traditional like classroom setting, would be impossible. And at Edugo, we believe that actually artificial intelligence will start to play a role where actually you have, the tool becomes intelligent. Therefore, you can embed this kind of new intelligent assistant inside the, at the core of the interaction between a teacher and a student. Therefore, we believe that there's going to be an explosion of innovation in terms of pedagogical approaches. And today we would like to introduce you one of those pedagogical approaches, and that we call like a flip and flop the classroom. It's a pedagogical approach we created at Edugo, and we believe is actually one of those new kind of approaches that are emerging. And so we have in this graph actually like two important elements of language pedagogy. One is the engagement of the students. Of course, we want to keep the students very engaged with our when we deliver a lesson to them, but also we have the element of personalization. And unfortunately, with traditional methods, actually, we have a pretty low level of personalization. The content is very standardized, and also the level of engagement of students is pretty low. And so like we have new pedagogical approaches that are emerging. For example, we heard a lot about like a flip in the classroom approach, where the trainer is delivering some content before the classroom, and then is using the live interaction part in the classroom training in order to have more interaction with the student. And now we actually created a new approach. It's called flip and flop the classroom. That is actually at the core of it as a new tool that is using artificial intelligence in order to flop the classroom. So what that means, flopping the classroom. So flopping the classroom is actually like the interaction doesn't stop during the classroom, after the classroom, but the interaction continues even after the classroom. So you can have still like the traditional flipped classroom approach, where you can deliver to the student some content before the class. Then you can have a live interaction with the student, can be, of course, like on a video call service like Zoom, but can be also, as we will show you, like in a service like Edugo. And then, if you use a service like Edugo, what you will have is actually you have a help of artificial intelligence. And so what does artificial intelligence? It will record all the content of the live classroom. And after the class is over, the artificial intelligence system will create a personalized, what we call a review lesson, which will be all the linguistic content was taught during the class with a lot of interactive activities. But the content is completely personalized to what the student learned during the class. And therefore, you have the continuation of the learning experience after the class. And that's what we call it, like the flop classroom approach. And that is having like a pretty important results in terms of personalization, because the students can go and practice exactly what was like the target language used during the class, and also the mistakes that it did during the live session with the trainer. So how that is possible? That is possible because we're using artificial intelligence, that we are able to transform a recording of a video lesson into personalized interactive activities. And that's something that it will be impossible to do in the traditional classroom setting. This is only enabled by digital technologies and artificial intelligence. So because a trainer cannot go and review all the mistakes the students doing during the class, or review all the new language points that were introduced, artificial intelligence enabled trainers with those kind of superpowers to be able to deliver these very personalized learning experiences. So how that will be integrated in a language course, and how you can actually use this kind of tools, that is actually what we're going to show you today, because we're going now to transition from the theoretical element to a more practical element. So me and Rebecca, now we're going to switch to a demo of the platform, and we're going to show you a little bit how that works. So I will exit my presentation, and I will enter to the Edugo AI platform. And just to give you an overview, this is actually like our platform works in two different parts. You have on one side, you have like the learning management system, which means like you can upload your material, teaching material inside the platform. And the other part is more for synchronous interaction. So as I mentioned, we have also a video call system integrated. And with all the scheduling system that you can use, all integrated inside the platform. And for example, the live lesson works like Zoom. So you can go, you can activate like the live session, and then you can just activate the video call. And these will be like your video call setting. And here you can, of course, like send a link to invite students, or already like invite students already in the platform. And here you have a set of new tools that are very specific for language learning. For example, you can upload content, like interactive content material that you already created before the class. So for example, here you can have different kind of activities that you can embed and send it directly to the student during the class. So you can make the learning experience much more fun and engaging. But also what you can do is you can record the classroom, and you can, after the video call is over, you can access to what we call the review lesson, which it was the one I showed you during the presentation. And it will be something like this. So all the video lessons are recorded. And here you can see this review lesson. So this is basically the classic recording of the lesson, right? So you have the teacher and the student. In this case, Rebecca was the teacher for this demo class. And here is very important because we are able to extract linguistic content. This happens automatically. So basically what the system is doing is processing all the video call, and then is understanding which linguistic content was important to do in the class. And here what you can do, you can basically, you as a trainer that creates this system and wants to deliver this lesson to the student, what you can do is you can check if all the content was correct. In this case, this is an English lesson delivered to an Italian student, so the translation will be in Italian. And here you can go and watch the frame of the video lesson where the trainer is pronouncing that sentence. And so like here the trainer is pronouncing, sorry, I cannot play the audio, but the trainer is pronouncing that sentence, and the sentence will be automatically transcribed. And here you can also select like the keywords that you believe are important that the students to focus on. So here we can select company, makeup, and here you can see there will be the keywords that are like coming from that. You can also select images. So our vision is innovate the beauty solution. So here I can have a database of images, and the system will be able to give you exactly like the kind of images that you want to embed. And as well, you can select keywords. Okay, maybe I will remove. Okay, so here I have my keywords that have been selected through the AI system. So basically, AI system is giving us those keywords, those sentences and keywords. Here, for example, I can clean up the keywords that I don't want the students to practice. So those are maybe like the target keywords that I want the student to go and learn after the class. And here is the cool part, is now the AI is processing all the linguistic content and is creating a set of activities. So all of these are activities that are arranged following a specific pedagogical approach. So, and they are divided by sections. For example, you have reading, listening, words, and speaking. And here you can see that the system is actually like generating this kind of like a learning activities, and you can edit them. So if you don't like the way that those activities are structured, you can actually do some editing. For example, here what we can do is we can remove the subtitle in case, so we can make the activity more difficult. So the trainer, the student will not be able to see the subtitle, or we can add the subtitle. So there can be different kind of customization that are possible. So here the student can listen to the trainer and then repeat, and the system is giving like automatic feedback on pronunciation. Also, I mean, you can see that those are like a set of activities that have been created, and you can decide maybe to remove some of those activities or even to add new activities. So here on the left, you can find like a set of other activities that can be drag and dropped in order to create this kind of comprehensive review lesson. And then by clicking this button, you can actually check what will be the learning experience from the student. So the student then will receive this kind of card. You can see all the linguistic content, and then you can start to see that there are all these learning activities, and the student can go and practice all the different kind of skills. For example, is a fill in the blank. These are like a listening and matching with the right sentences, and so on and so forth. So that there are going to be like hundreds of activities that you can choose in order to create a comprehensive and pedagogical sound review lesson for the student. This finished. So that's it. So that's actually, here you get the link. So basically you can share the link, but also the student is doing the lesson inside the platform will automatically get the notification and can enable to access to this content. So that's actually from the flip and flop approach, which is a new approach that we're very proud of Edugo that we created, and it's very innovative. So we are kind of to push the innovation in the pedagogical side. And I would like to give the floor to Rebecca to show us actually other kind of tools that we can use in order to, upload your material in the platform and really like choose which kind of pedagogical approach you want to use during your lessons.
Yes, thank you for that. I hope everyone can see my screen. So right now I'm gonna show you how to actually use our templates to create the lessons. And templates are the answer to how you're gonna incorporate different approaches into the course, because our templates are designed to make lesson creation process easier. And right now we're working on supporting different pedagogical versions of templates on the website. But first, let me just walk you through the creation process. So I can click on create lesson, and here you can see we have a list of templates that we can use. Right now, I'm going to use the short audio template, and this template is very useful if you would like to teach common expressions or very frequently used sentences that you want the students to draw and really practice saying them. So this is a great lesson that can focus on listening and speaking skills. And here is the sentences page, and I can add my sentences here by recording it, or if I have the audio files ready, I can also upload them. but right now I don't have them, so I will choose to record. And what kind of content should I record? I just bought a pair of jeans last weekend, so I'll talk about that. I'll talk about the price, all right? It was a real bargain. All right, and now the sentence is going to be processed and transcribed. So let's give it a second. And here it says you can insert these two sentences because the activities that would be generated will require two sentences to do so. All right, so now this is done. The transcription looks totally correct, so I'll hit submit. And then here I can see the translation. Notice that this is, and I'm using Italian to teach English, so the translation is in Italian, and I can look for a nice image for the sentence, so I'll choose this one, and then I can add another one. It cost a fortune. All right, well, that's being saved. You can check your sentence. And I can edit the word out since maybe I didn't pronounce it correctly. Let me, yeah, okay, let's give it one more minute.
And yeah, I just want to say that the system is a little slow because this is a preview link. So actually, this version you're showing right now is not available in the platform at the moment. Will be available tonight. So since it's like a preview link, is a little slower than what is actually the normal platform. That's why Rebecca going a little slow, but tonight will be available in the platform, so it will be much faster.
Yes, that is right. Okay, so now that I have two sentences ready, they all look correct. I can click on next. And then here is going to be the activities page, where the activities will be generated and shown. And as you can see here, we have some exercises generated. And this, actually, we use the blocked practice approach, which means that the learner has to learn one sentence and then complete some activities, and then they move on to another sentence. So I'm just gonna show you what it looks like from a student's perspective. All right, so here we have an overview of the keywords and the sentences. And then I hope you could hear that, but the audio used my real voice, so it used the recording that I just recorded. So this is a simple flashcard with an image, with the transcription and the translation. And then once they familiarize themselves with the sentence, they can go to some listening exercises. It was a real bargain, so I'll choose this one, and then I can go on. And then I can organize the words in the correct order. Again, all the audio exercises are using my real audio. And then here is another speaking exercise. So I'm supposed to repeat what I heard. It was a real bargain. All right, that's correct. And then I go to another set of activities with with the same activity types that you've seen before. So yeah, so that was the lesson creation process. And then I can show you some other output that we have been developing. For example, this one. This template is called Review Sentences with Retrieval Practice. And as you can see, we're gonna connect each pedagogical approach and then use it in a certain template. And we're also gonna develop like a roadmap where teachers can just follow the lesson focus that they want to have, and then they can look for the right approach and the right template and then use them. So for this one, this is supposed to be a review lesson for the sentences with the retrieval practice approach, which means that you're making the students recalling the information that they just learned through some activities. So this is a fun one. Let's preview this. So here I have to listen to the audio. Today is sunny. Tomorrow will be rainy. All right, so the sentences are linked, and then I can listen to it again. And then I have to connect this to the proper imagery. And then here I have to connect the text with the image as well. So I'll do that. All right. And then here I have to reorganize the words into, into the correct order so that it makes sense. Tomorrow will be rainy. So as you can see, like in this template, we try to group the sentences that they've learned together in one unit so that they can compare and contrast the information that they learned. So instead of the previous output that I just showed you, where they have to go through one sentence and then go through the activities per sentence. Instead of that, we're grouping the sentences together so they can have a better practice, and it's also more engaging and more challenging for them. All right. And then here are a couple of speaking exercises that I'm not gonna do right now. So this is one of the templates that will be available for the direct method approach. And then I can also show you some other ones. This one is called Learn Pronunciation with Task Repetition. Task repetition basically means a series of repetitive tasks with some slight changes. And we're using this approach to improve their pronunciation and their speaking skill. So let me show you what I mean. And this is also for sentences. So we have some speaking exercises here. The first one, they only see the image and then they're supposed to listen to it. Yesterday was cloudy. And as you can see, like we don't have a lot of support here because the goal of this individual exercise is to make them listen really carefully and then look at the image and then try to make an association between the sound and the image. And then they have to try to repeat it. Of course, this is their first try, so they might make some mistakes, but that's all right. The goal of this template is that they repeat it a lot of times and then they can reach fluency at the end. So I'll just skip this and show you. So this is another one. So we combine the 3 sentences in a series of speaking exercises. And then here, this is another round of activities. And here you can listen to the audio with the transcription ready. So now they're seeing the text of the sentence, so they can it can be used as a support if they really didn't get what was said in the audio. And then one last time, now you don't have the audio anymore. You also don't have the imagery. You have to read the text, and then you speak it. So that is the final goal of this, that they can recognize the text, they can recognize the pronunciation, and then they can speak it fluently at the end. All right, and one last output that I can show you. This one is called Improve Spelling with Chunking. And chunking is a technique that you use when you want to teach spelling, or when you want to make the students recognize the characters in a single word. So what you do is you can put a few characters together, you group them together as a chunk, and then you practice that, and then you move to another chunk, and I'll show you what I mean. So like the previous output, this is also a series of similar exercises. Okay, today is sunny. So these words are in magnets, they're in big chunks. So this is very simple. Tomorrow will be sunny, all right. And then, oops. And then, so for this one, okay, so for this one, sorry, this should be, should play tomorrow would be rainy. But here we are hiding a few characters, so they have to complete this. Tomorrow will be sunny. Oh.
Is it raining?
Oh yeah, because it's, yes, because, oh, it's raining.
That's okay.
Yeah, and then and then this one is the same. We're hiding a few characters and also leaving some as support. And then finally they have to type the whole sentences themselves. But of course, we give them some sort of support by providing these spaces as chunks. So they know that, oh, how many words I have to fill in, and then they can also listen to the audio and then write the sentence. And I think that was the last thing that I want to show you. And I'm gonna give the floor back to Giuseppe to finish off. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Rebecca. Actually, you showed to us like a lot of different examples and a lot of different kind of pedagogical approaches that you can incorporate in a digital setting. It's very important to say that those pedagogical approaches can be encoded in our system. So basically, the idea is that you are not going to spend like a lot of time in order to generate all these kind of interactive activities, but you leave that to our system, and therefore like you just need to input the language content you want to you want to use with your students, and then all the system is going to create those pedagogical structures. Of course, you're going to be able to customize the output, but the system is going to save you a lot of time. That's the reason why we are developing this system in order to make you actually very effective and being able to be at the same time fast in the creation of this content, but at the same time also very flexible, because you can customize the output and can really, in a really like detailed way, in a really granular way. And what we are showing today is just a few examples. We have, of course, like a lot of different kind of templates you can use in our system. So what next? The call to action for you is basically you can go and try it out, all those things that we just shared with you today. And we try to make it as easy as possible for you to test out our technology. I'm going to share my screen and just to share with you that you just need to go in our website, which is edugo.ai, and I will ask Giorgio to send the link in the chat room. This is our website, and then you can use our technology for free. So there's going to be like 14 days free trial where you can actually go and play with our templates and try to create your own content in the platform. Just click on this link, get started for free. You can create an account. You will be able to select the language because we support different languages. Today we just show you English, which is the most popular language, of course. We're going to be, we can support actually like other 7 languages, which would be on the top of my head, there's English, French, Spanish, Italian, Chinese, Portuguese, German, and soon we will add Japanese as well. And so you will be able to test out the platform. And then we are just looking for your feedback. Of course, we'll value a lot like your feedback and how you're going to, how you can leverage our technology in order to, increase your business. And so right now, I would like to jump on the Q&A section. So if you have anything that you would like to explore more about the platform, we can show you during this webinar. Or if you are interested to know more about other parts, you have some questions about everything, about the theoretical part and also about the more like practical part of our system, you can ask to us. Let me go to the chat and see. Okay, Anyan is asking if do we have a certificate after this? Unfortunately, we don't release certificates for this kind of webinar, but that can be something we can think about in the future. But yeah, that's very important. So we're going to think about maybe for the next webinars we can release some certificates. But for this one, actually, we're not planning to release certificates. Okay, Alan is asking, is there any function for spaced repetition for the students? I understand that's an effective learning tool. That's a very good point, Alan. And we actually supported the SRS, like the spaced repetition software before. We are going to integrate that also in the platform. But it's very important that we are saving this information in the backend, so we know when students are like making some mistakes or like studying some new words or new sentences. Right now, we don't have an interface to make them practice using spaced repetition software, but this is in our roadmap. We're going to do it, and then because we already done it before in our Learn Chinese mobile platform, and it was a very popular feature, and we just didn't have the time in our roadmap to implement in the current platform, but it will be available. Thank you for that question. Lale or Lail, I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name, is asking, can we create separate accounts for each student within the system? Yes, of course. So once you deploy the platform, you're going to have a white label platform. What it means is that basically you can have a full customized platform with your own landing page. And then you're going to be able to enroll students inside the platform. There are no limitations on how many students you can enroll. And so basically what you would be able to do is you can go in the platform and you're able to create, for example, like courses. Those are some example of courses that we previously created. So you can see you're able to basically, all the content Rebecca showed before, you can put it in a kind of like a course structure. You can also integrate video calls inside the course. So that means also like you can have like asynchronous content plus synchronous, plus the review lesson that is generated with our AI system that we showed you during the demo before. And basically you will have a page of the course, which will look something like this, which will be a sales page. What it means is that basically you can have a full landing page and you can enroll students inside the course. And the students will create an account. So each student will have his own personalized account with their name, pictures. And so these are actually like the landing page of the course. And see all the activities. They will be blocked. They need to enroll in order to create the account. And in that way, they'll be able to see the content. And that will be here in the platform. You will be able to see the students that create the accounts. So each student will have different accounts. You can also monetize that. So not only you're able to create pedagogical sound courses, you're also able to monetize that because you're able, for example, here in the pricing, you can select the price, you can put like, it will be $40, for example, and the students needs to pay $40 in order to access the content. So you have also like a full system for you, not only to create content, but also to sell and monetize your knowledge online. That's what we do. And this is just one part is about the course. We have another part is about like a classroom. So you can do what we call CBC, which is cohort-based learning. So you can have group of students also learning inside your platform. Yeah, so that's a little bit how the system works. Today, of course, we didn't have enough time to show you all the features of the platform because there are a lot, but we just focus on the pedagogical elements. But the main objective of the platform is then to be able to monetize your knowledge. So you can encode your pedagogical system inside the platform, and then you're able to monetize on it. You can see other questions. Okay. Okay, ladies, it seems that's what I've been looking for. Perfect. I'm very happy that you actually are a good fit with our product. Yeah, over the years, we've been actually talking with many teachers, individual trainers in schools. So we've been building those features to listen to the feedback. So we know that those are the features that are necessary in order to, you know, scale your business online. So. And then we go to the other questions. Are we able to watch these sample courses? You cannot directly find sample courses inside your platform. We can give you some access to some other platforms that are using currently our system. And you can go and play as a student, for example. So you can go and check out what other teachers or other schools are doing inside our system. And I will ask Giorgio to link up some of those example platforms. Yeah, and then I can show to you like how that works. So you can play actually how like other teachers are using it. The one that we just show you today, those are just like for demo purposes. So the platform we are showing you today is a platform that we use internally to demo, like for example, during a webinar, but those are not content that we create in order to sell it, right? So like we are not, I don't think you can find useful having this kind of content because it's just for demo purposes. Valeria, Manfreda, ciao. I suppose you're Italian. So is the platform also available to generate more complex exercises like C1, C2 level? This is something that we can customize up to this level of proficiency. You know, it is really a life-changing solution because it's a greatly time-consuming to do. So after each class, so thank you. Thank you, Valeria. Grazie, and appreciate your comment. Yes, so our platform actually works also for higher level students. Maybe I can just demo to you a little bit higher level activities and how they work. Because the one we show with Rebecca before are kind of like more like for lower level students. When you go to this kind of higher level, it's going to be necessary that you have some kind of like intervention or like you involve a trainer in the evaluation of the performance of the student, because automatic evaluation will be impossible, for example, to write when you write an essay and then you need to give like feedback to the student. We're going to get there and we're working there, but it's still like we need to have a human in the loop, like a trainer in the loop. So the way it works is, for example, we can get a lesson that was created. Here, what we can do is basically we can add some other modules that we call it like modules that are for, we call it like homework. And those kind of modules actually are, for example, like you can upload like a picture, and then the students need to give a description of the picture. But also you can upload, I don't know, like a YouTube video, and then the student.
Great Western Railway Service to Western-super-Mare.
Sorry, maybe you can mute the audio. I guess someone unmuted by mistake. So what I'm saying is that here, basically, what you can do is you can give to higher level students, for example, some tasks for language production, and you're able to, for example, upload a video or whatever, and then the students need to write down, like produce some language, and then we have a full system that the trainer can go and give feedback. I will show you that how it works. So basically, you can go here. We will have a IELTS prep course. Maybe this can be a good example. I didn't prepare that, so I need to find actually like an example where the student did some activities, and how the trainer can actually go and give feedback.
Yeah, I think
this one.
You can maybe, yeah.
Will be this one? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, this is a part of the platform I didn't show you because of time reasons, but I think it's a good to share with you right now. So basically, this is an interface from the trainer. When you can see like this course, like Travel English 101. And basically here, the trainer can go and check the students' results. So you can see, for example, you have a classroom. You can see that you have different students. You have kind of statistics, those students completed or not. And then what you can do is actually you can go and check the results of the student. So here you can have like a breakdown on what has been their kind of like, performance during the lesson. And here, for example, the student is giving like some, you're asking like write a short dialogue, and here the trainer can give like a mark and then also can give a feedback. So I think these kind of activities will be the one that are mostly relevant for higher level students. So here you can send mark. And then basically like we have a full system that the students will receive a message, an email, like, okay, my trainer is, giving me a mark on my production activity. And then you can see here in the chat, there will be also chat open. This will be the student. And then you can see, okay, you have new marks for your homework. And yeah, so this kind of system can be used in order to train higher level students. However, we are always happy to listen to new kind of requirements in terms of activity creation. With Rebecca, we are full-time working on this. So we always want to build like new activities. And we know that the higher you go in terms of like a level of students, the more challenging it is to create this kind of like interactive activities. And so we are very happy to listen to some feedback. So Valeria, if you want, then we can have a session where we can have some, we can actually like listen to some of your feedback about that. Okay, so we have another question. So will you email me a link to view sample courses? Okay, yes, we can email to you. I will ask Giorgio to follow up with you. Will be very good if you can create an account. So if you go create a trial account in our platform, which is completely for free, then we will be able to send you the links of courses. Maybe we can also import some courses inside the platform, because you will be able to create your own school using our tech, and then you can have also some access to this material. And then the other question is, how are language teachers paid? This is a very important one. Is you are going to be able to connect your own Stripe account or even PayPal account, which means that when the students are paying in the platform, you get the money directly in your bank account, which means that we are not taking any processing fee, right? So if you sell a course for $40, you get just $40. Like we are a SaaS-based platform, which means that you pay a subscription. And the level of pricing goes from like $10 per month if you want to use the basic features, to a more to a higher price, depending what kind of business you have. Because, for example, our softwares can support like a single teacher, a single trainer, or can even support institutions with hundreds of trainers. And so depending on what kind of features you want to use, then we will have different kind of pricing. So that's important, but we don't get any percentage on the sales. So you will be able to connect directly your Stripe account. Okay, so if you guys don't have any other questions, maybe it's time to wrap up. Okay, I have last question. How long has Edugo AI been around? How long do you hope to continue online? We've been around actually for a few years now. Before COVID, for sure, like we started first with a B2C platform. So it was like a mobile app. And then we pivoted to a B2B solution, so to give our technology to schools and trainers, because we thought that there was a huge gap in the market, because traditional learning management software are not specific for this kind of use case for language training. They're kind of like more general, so you just like video courses. And so we decided to go in this market, and this has been since 2019. So how long do you hope to continue online? I mean, we are completely online company, and we hope to keep being online. I don't know if I well understood your questions, but yeah, we hope to continue for a long time, very long time. We have a very long-term roadmap and very long-term ambitions. So. Alan, grazie mille, sembra buonissimo, molto interessante. Grazie, Alan. I appreciate you speak Italian to us, like it's very good. And yeah, so Alan, I will suggest you to try out the platform, and then yeah, if you have any feedback or questions, we're very happy to exchange ideas. Yes, and for the last point, like the webinar will be available in our YouTube channel. So in the next few days, we're going to upload this recording. So I will encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and so you can get notified when the new webinar, will be uploaded. And there in our YouTube channel, you can find all our recordings, so of previous webinars. So this is part of a series of webinars that we do bi-weekly, so every Friday, every 2 Fridays. And we talk about pedagogy like today. We talk about like marketing. So we really like cover a different set of topics. You can find all of that in our YouTube channel. I will ask Giorgio to share the link of our YouTube channel in the chat, so you guys can go and check it out. That said, if there are no more questions, since we're already over 1 hour, I would like to thank all of you to be with us till the end of the webinar. I would like to thank Rebecca for preparing a very nice presentation and all these amazing templates. And yeah, I hope you guys got value from it, and I hope you can get more value in the future.
Thank you for coming, everyone.
Thank you, and I hope to see you in the next webinar. Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you.
Grazie. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.